Hello again there. Sean Hampsey once more with continuing Bobby Sands' story and his letter from the maze. This is part 8. You speak of our activity here in the maze as extreme. At first I was rather disappointed that a man of the cloth would see my non-violent efforts as those of an extremist. I began thinking about the fact that I and my fellow hunger strikers stand in the middle of two opposing forces within the Catholic and Republican community. One is a force of complacency, made up in part of Catholics who, as a result of long years of oppression, are so drained of self-respect and a sense of somebodyness that they have adjusted to being treated as second-class citizens, and in part of a few middle-class Catholics who, because of a degree of academic and economic security, and because in some ways they profit by the divide and rule mentality. The British ruling body have utilised successfully all over the world since they first found out in the north of Ireland it worked so well, they exported it to their dominions. These few have become so insensitive to the problem of the masses. The other force is one of bitterness and hatred, and it comes perilously close to advocating violence. It is expressed in the various nationalistic groups that are springing up from our midst, the best known being the real IRA. Nourished by some radical Republican frustrations over the continuing discrimination, this movement is made up primarily of those who have absolutely repudiated Catholicism and Christianity in general, and who have concluded that Protestant paramilitary groups are incorrigible devils. I and some of my group have tried to reason with some of these radicals while also trying to stir the do-nothingness of the complacent camp. And I do believe some progress is being made, else you would by now have seen the streets run red. So a great big clap on the back is overdue to the patience and tolerance of the downtrodden of the north. Oppressed people cannot remain oppressed forever. The yearning for freedom eventually manifests itself, and that is what is happening to the Northern Catholic Irish. Something within has reminded him of his birthright of freedom, and something without has reminded him that it can be gained. If one understands and recognises this vital urge that has engulfed the community, one should readily understand why public demonstrations are taking place. We have many pent-up resentment and latent frustrations, and they must be released. If repressed emotions are not released in non-violent ways, they will seek expression through violence. This is not a threat, but a fact of history. Let me express one big disappointment in the Catholic Church. I am not unmindful of the few priests and even a couple of Protestant clergy who have been brave enough to support our cause for a united Ireland. And some have been outright opponents, refusing to understand the freedom movement and misrepresenting its leaders, while others have acted like schoolyard bullies, even in threatening excommunication. All too many others have been more cautious and courageous and have remained silent behind the anaesthetising security of stained glass windows. In spite of my shattered dreams, I have taken the stand I have along with my comrades in arms, who are also so serious about the future of Ireland, they are prepared to put their lives on the line in order for the world to take notice. Yes, these questions are still in my mind. In deep disappointment, I have wept over the laxity of the Church to stand up and be vocal about what has been happening to her people. But be assured that my tears have been tears of love. There can be no deep disappointment where there is no deep love. Yes, I love the Church. How could I do otherwise? I am in the rather privileged position of being one of an unbroken line that trails back to the days of St. Patrick, who gave us our faith. Yes, I see the Catholic Church as being the body of Christ, but oh, how we have blemished and scarred that body through social neglect and through fear of being nonconformists.